Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite bright young man, Gardiner. Today, we're going to be talking about Matrix. Not to be confused with The Matrix, we're going to be talking about matrix.org. If you're not familiar, it's a free, open source, and federated chat network. It's a pretty sweet service, and I actually really like it. I have a couple different Matrix clients across my devices. On my computer, I have Fractal, which is a open source client created by the GNOME Foundation. I have on my Librem 5, I have the Chatty application, which uses Matrix as its secure messaging service. And on Android, I have Element. Element is available for Android and iOS, and in an unexpected move, Google actually removed Element from the Play Store on Friday. What's even more strange is that Element was removed without notifying the developers that it was being taken down or without even a prior warning. On a post on the Element blog by Matthew Hodgdon, the process of getting Element back on the Play Store was actually detailed. Less than 2 hours after Element had been removed from the Play Store, the Element team actually submitted an appeal and got a trite and canned response from Google that said, quote, "Please make the necessary changes to your app and upload a new app using a new package name and a new app name." Well, that's just ridiculous, and the Element team knew it. So they went and submitted a new appeal that was more detailed and that reiterated how Matrix and Element work. In the appeal, they detailed how Element connects to the Matrix global network, much like how Chrome connects to the World Wide Web. They also explained how Element runs the matrix.org home server on behalf of Matrix, and how they strictly moderate the servers they actually run, but have no control over the servers that they don't run. Thankfully, you can still get F-Droid for your Android phone. If you're not familiar, it's an app store that hosts free and open source Android applications. And even during the ban from the Play Store, you could still get Element through F-Droid. Eventually, though, a Google VP reached out to Element and explained the issue. The VP apologized for the poor communication, which, you know what, was incredibly necessary for them to apologize, because that's ridiculous. And the VP explained how there was, quote, "some extremely abusive content which was accessible through the default matrix.org home server," which, may I remind you, Element actually runs on behalf of the Matrix project. The Element Trust and Safety team actually had already dealt with that content and enforced the terms of service, and the Element team explained to the Google VP how Matrix and Element work, and they, quote, "established a channel for communication over any further moderation concerns." Within 2 hours after that conversation, Google had reinstated Element on the Play Store. And moments after Element was taken down, people were sharing this with me in my DMs and sending it to me on my Discord server. And you know what? Google might have overreacted here, but I don't think they were entirely in the wrong. Sure, from the blog post, it seems like the Element team had already taken care of the offending content. And it's pretty hard to judge what extremely abusive content means. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it seems like now, if Google gets a report about abusive content, it will contact the Element team before Google takes action themselves. And that's a good thing. Fact of the matter is, moderation is critical. I moderate my comments all the time. And generally, I use shame, ridicule, and humiliation as my go-to primary way of controlling the conversation. Just look at this dumb comment. But I'm also not afraid of deleting a single comment or even banning a user from commenting on my videos at all. All of this is in an effort to keep my comments a place where people feel comfortable speaking their mind respectfully. But it's also for my own mental health. Hell, even Odysee moderates itself, and they're like, how do I put this nicely? The most idealistic of the free speech crowd. I'll just leave it at that. The thing is, though, I don't think that it's the fact that Google and Apple are able to deplatform certain applications from their app stores. I don't think that that's the actual problem here. But people are confusing that as the problem. Just to keep in mind, a few years ago, my conservative friends would have been the people defending Google's right to do just that. But the problem is, Google and Apple and many other tech companies have positioned themselves as gatekeepers. This is something that they have done intentionally. And sure, you can get F-Droid on a Google phone, but like how many people actually know how to do that? And with every new release of Android, it gets slightly harder to sideload applications. It gets slightly harder to load custom ROMs on your phone, and it gets slightly harder to de-Google your device. And on iOS, your only alternative, literally your only alternative, is progressive web apps. And progressive web apps on iOS are missing basic features like push notifications. So it's really not that much of an alternative. The problem is not that these companies are able to deplatform or even just sever their relationship with a user or an app or a service. They are private companies and they do not have to provide you service if they don't want to. The problem is that Apple and Google are monopolies, or maybe a duopoly if you want to get technical about it. And Amazon controls a worrying percentage of global internet infrastructure. And Facebook and Twitter control way too much of the social media game. The problem is that the web is hardly a web anymore, and that is what needs to change. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know down in the comments, and be respectful. If you're not respectful, your comment will probably get deleted. When it comes to the rules of my comments, and yes, I have rules for my comments, you can disagree with me. You can say that I'm wrong. But if you call people names, or if you swear, you're not welcome, and generally, if you swear, you're actually going to get automodded. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, swearing, why the heck would you ban swearing? Because it doesn't foster a healthy environment to have a real conversation when you swear. It really doesn't, especially on the internet. So that's why swearing gets automodded from my channel. I don't even look at the comments that get automodded. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Again, leave a comment below if you want to let me know what you think. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think about this. I want to say thanks to my patrons over on Patreon who make what I do here possible. If it wasn't for them, I would not be able to do this. So thank you guys. It means the world to me. If you believe in the work that I do, you can help support the show with a monthly contribution on Patreon. There's links in the description. There's also a couple other ways you can help support the show down there. But I think that's going to do it for now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a blessed day.